Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. So we have started geography section and its first chapter, our environment. We have discussed a lot of things about the environment, its types. Okay, there are two types of environment, natural environment and human environment. We have discussed natural environments and its three types. Okay, so now we will recap all that in just a second. What is natural environment? All the things which are given to us by nature includes in natural environment like land, air, water. They all make up a natural environment. There were four major domains of natural environment. Okay, lithosphere, the solid portion of the earth, like the crust and the ocean floor, all these comes in lithosphere. Second was hydrosphere. All the watery portion of the earth, watery area of earth is called hydrosphere. Atmosphere, the air around us, all a thick layer of air which is around the earth is called atmosphere. We have done the five layers of atmosphere. Okay, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere and exosphere. And now we will discuss about the biosphere. So what is biosphere? Biosphere can be also termed as the living world. The narrow zone where land, water and air comes in contact with each other is called the biosphere. Here you can see the diagram. All the creatures like water, okay, animals and mountains, trees, all the living things and non-living things are in contraction with each other, are in interaction with each other. These all make a biosphere. The narrow zone where land, water and air comes in contact with each other is called the biosphere. So what is the importance of the biosphere? Living beings exist only in the biosphere. It means that living things can only exist where there is a biosphere, where the land, water and air combines with each other. There forms a biosphere and living things can only exist there. Okay, so living things, what are living things? Living things range from the microscopic organisms to huge trees like small bacteria, amoeba, to the big elephants and the big trees. Okay, living things range from microscopic organisms to huge trees, animals and humans. This great variety of the life on earth is called biological diversity or biodiversity. So here you got the definition of the biodiversity. What is biodiversity? The diversification of species on earth from the microorganisms to trees. All these things comes in the biodiversity. It means जितनी भी आपकी living things हैं अर्थ में, जितनी भी उनकी species हैं, that all comes in the biodiversity like microorganisms, trees, animals, human beings. They all are a part of biodiversity or biological diversity. The inhabitants of the biosphere are classified into two major groups. Okay, the biosphere, the inhabitants of the biosphere are classified into two major groups, that is the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. This is already clear from the name. What is the plant kingdom? All the plants, whether they are smaller or whether they are bigger, like grass and big trees. Okay, all these comes in plant kingdom. And what is animal kingdom? All the animals including the human beings, they all comes in the animal kingdom, whether they are small microorganisms like bacteria or whether they are big animals like elephant or whales. Okay, so I am repeating all that. What is the importance of biosphere? That where there is a biosphere, only living things can only exist there. And what are the living things can live in the biosphere? Living things from small microorganisms to bigger organisms, bigger bodies like animals. Okay, huge trees, animals, all can live in the biosphere. This great variety of life on earth is called biological diversity or biodiversity. And the inhabitants of the biosphere are classified into mainly two groups, that is the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. Next importance, all energy for life comes from the sun. We know the sun is the major source of the energy. All the plants take energy from the sun. We eat those plants. Okay, other animals eat those plants. We eat the products taken from that animals. So sun is the major source of energy for all the living organisms on the earth. So that is the importance of biosphere, that for all the living organisms in the biosphere, the major source of energy is sun. In every ecosystem, there is a perfect balance or equilibrium in the transfer of energy and matter among the different components. This is known as ecological balance. So here is a great one more definition. What is ecological balance? The ecological balance means within the different species or within like different organism, when there is a balance of transfer of energy or a perfect balance or equilibrium of energy, then that condition is called the ecological balance. We have to maintain the ecological balance of earth. Okay, if the ecological balance is disturbed, then many problems can come to the inhabitants of the earth, like climate change, weather change, okay, heavy rains, droughts, etc. So we have to maintain this ecological balance. I am repeating this definition again. In every ecosystem, there is a perfect balance or equilibrium in the transfer of energy and matter among the different components. Repeating it in Hindi again. अर्थ पे जितने भी अलग अलग कंपोनेंट्स हैं उन सभी के बीच में एनर्जी का एक परफेक्ट इक्विलिब्रियम या परफेक्ट बैलेंस रहना चाहिए. उसी बैलेंस को हम इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस कहते हैं. इट मीन्स द बैलेंस ऑफ द इकोसिस्टम. ओके, within the different living organism, when a balance is maintained, then that is called the ecological balance. So next topic, what is ecosystem? Ecosystem is formed by the interaction of all living organisms with each other and with the physical environment in which they live. It means when living things and non-living things both interact with each other, the living kingdom and the non-living kingdom both interact with each other, they form a ecosystem. When the living organisms like human beings and the non-living things like sunlight, air and water interact with each other to form life, okay, so this is called an ecosystem. Let us understand it with a small short video. Ria is watering her plants on her terrace. Okay, so whether these plants can survive without water or without nutrients or without sunlight, the answer is definitely no. These plants can't survive without all these things. So this is how our nature works. Okay, so let us take an example. This is a plant. This is a living thing. Okay, this is surviving because of the sun, water and soil. These all are non-living components. Sun, water and soil. These all are non-living components and plant is living component. So in our environment there are so many living things and so many non-living things. When they interact with each other, this is called an ecosystem. So ecosystem, a community of life forms in concurrence with non-living components interacting with each other, is called ecosystem. It is a term which is given by A.G. Tansley in year 1953. So, okay. So, is everything in the surrounding a part of the ecosystem? The answer is yes. Everything in our surrounding is a part of ecosystem. Whether it is a pond or whether it is a ocean. So, how a pond is an ecosystem? Because in ponds, water is a non-living thing and all the fishes, all the plants in the pond are living things. Okay, so next, an ocean. Ocean is also an ecosystem. A desert is also an ecosystem because the plants, the animals there are living, which are living there are living things, and all the soil and air is non-living things. So when living things and non-living things interact with each other, they forms an ecosystem. Ecosystem is of two types. Ecosystem is of two types. First type is natural ecosystem and the second type is man-made ecosystem. So what is natural ecosystem? Natural ecosystem is a system which is provided to us by a nature. For example, ocean, for example, desert. Okay, desert is a natural ecosystem. Grasslands are natural ecosystem. Ocean is a natural ecosystem. And what are man-made ecosystem? The ecosystem which are made by humans, like fish aquarium. We have seen so many beautiful fish aquariums. Okay, have you seen inside a fish aquarium? There are so many fishes, small plants and small living things, non-living things like stones, and water is also there. So that forms an ecosystem, that forms a system which is supporting the living things, supported by non-living things. So this forms an ecosystem. It means an ecosystem is of two types, a natural ecosystem and a man-made ecosystem. Natural ecosystem is an ecosystem which is provided to us by nature, and a man-made ecosystem is an ecosystem which is made by man. For example, fish aquariums. Okay, so now we have discussed all the things of natural environment, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Lithosphere is the land portion, hydrosphere is the water portion, atmosphere is the air portion, and the biosphere is where the living organisms exist. It means where lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere combines forms a biosphere. So now our natural environment topic is completed. Now we are starting human environment. What is human environment? It is formed by human beings and their creations such as roads, bridges, etc. and the social, economic, political and other conditions in which they live. Okay, the human environment. It is formed by human beings and their creations like roads, bridges, etc. It means all the things which are seen around us, which are made by man, forms a human environment. That is the roads, the buildings, the schools, the hospitals, bridges. Okay, all these forms a human environment. And the social, economic, political and other conditions. Also the conditions in which we are living, in which societies we are living, okay, in which economic conditions we are living, in which political conditions we are living, they also forms a human environment. Human environment is greatly influenced by the natural environment because everything to us is provided by nature. Okay, so human environment is greatly influenced with the natural environment. This influence decides the lifestyle, occupation, dress, food habits and nature of habitats of human being. Let us take an example. Suppose a place where there are severe storms or thunderstorms. Can people live safely there? The answer is no. Where the nature is good, where the environment is good, the people can live easily. So that's how nature supports human. That's how human environment is greatly influenced with the nature environment, okay, natural environment. Okay, so this influence decides the lifestyle, occupation, dress, food habits and nature of habitats of human beings. What is human environment? I am repeating it in Hindi कि हमारे आसपास जो भी हमें मैन मेड दिखाई दे रहा है, ह्यूमंस द्वारा बनाया हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है, उसे हम कहेंगे ह्यूमन इन्वायरमेंट. चाहे वो ब्रिजेस हैं, बिल्डिंग्स हैं, रोड्स हैं. ओके, दिस ऑल कम्स इन ह्यूमन इन्वायरमेंट. एंड जो ह्यूमन इन्वायरमेंट है वो नेचुरल इन्वायरमेंट से काफ़ी ज़्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है. मतलब नेचुरल इन्वायरमेंट का काफ़ी ज़्यादा असर ह्यूमन इन्वायरमेंट पे देखा जा सकता है. फॉर एग्जांपल, जहाँ भी नेचर अच्छा नहीं होगा, जहाँ भी इन्वायरमेंट अच्छा नहीं होगा, वहाँ पर ह्यूमंस अच्छी तरह सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएंगे. और जहाँ का इन्वायरमेंट सपोर्टिव होगा, वहाँ के ह्यूमंस अच्छी तरह सर्वाइव कर पाएंगे. सो दैट्स हाउ ह्यूमन इन्वायरमेंट इज ग्रेटली इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द नेचुरल इन्वायरमेंट. अर्ली ह्यूमंस लिव्ड इन हार्मनी विद नेचुरल सराउंडिंग्स. जो अर्ली ह्यूमंस थे वो पहले नेचर के साथ काफ़ी जुड़े हुए रहते थे. दे लिव्ड अ सिंपल लाइफ. दे कुड फुलफिल देयर बेसिक नीड्स फ्रॉम द नेचर अराउंड देम. एंड विद द इन्वेंशन ऑफ व्हील, you know about the invention of wheel. Okay, that's a great invention which make the work of the man very easy. With the invention of wheel, transportation become easier and faster. Later trade and commerce developed. With scientific and technological advancement, human beings succeeded in controlling and dominating nature. So what are the consequences which occurred due to the controlling and dominating nature? There are so many consequences. We will study in our next slides about this. Okay, so let us discuss about the human environment interaction, that how the human environment interaction should be and how is the human environment interaction at the present times. The physical environment provides human beings with different materialistic needs. Materialistic needs means the materials which are needed by us, okay, for our living. The physical environment provides human beings with different materialistic needs. Activities like farming, fishing, forestry and mining still require raw material without which no society can survive or progress. These all are the necessary things which are needed for our life. Okay, and from where we get these? We get from nature. So this is a great example of the human and the environment interaction, that if the interaction is good, that the human can live safely. Human beings and their activities represent the greatest danger to the environment. Since starting of human civilization, people have only used nature for their existence. They exploited and misused it to a certain extent, thus the balance of the environment has been disturbed. We are seeing in our general life that the environment's balance is very disturbed. We are also seeing its consequences like the coronavirus pandemic and the global warming. Okay, these all are the consequences of the balance disturbed with humans and nature. Okay, there was an ecological balance, there was a balance between the humans and the environment now which is disturbed due to many reasons. Okay, we will study that reasons and we will study the consequences which are being going okay, due to the imbalance. Okay, so this is not in your book, next topic is not in your book, but you have to do that for your knowledge. Okay, you have to take some steps to improve your lifestyle and all these things, so that it can better help for our environment. So the first major reason for this imbalance is deforestation. What is deforestation? The cutting down of trees for our personal use, okay, for the official use is called deforestation. We all know that the counting of trees is decreasing day by day, so that is deforestation. The cutting down of forest, the cutting down of trees for the personal use, for the industrial use, for the official use, this is all called deforestation. Before the deforestation, when the trees are growing, here is a diagram given to you, here is a picture given to you in which the effects are shown, that before the deforestation what is the condition, and after the deforestation what will be the condition. We will study before the deforestation first. Okay, starting from the first point, many trees offering the soil protection from rain erosion. You know what is rain erosion? When the top layer of the soil is split away by the or float away by the rain. Okay, this is called soil erosion or rain erosion. So when the trees are grown, they hold up the soil with the roots. Okay, then the soil erosion didn't take place. So first point which the trees can, by which the trees can help to us is it prevents the soil erosion. Second, many leaves fall to forest floor as litter. Many leaves also act as humus. Many leaves are also act as manure, okay, for the soil. Next, nutrients from litter form a layer of topsoil that is called humus. Like in the previous points, many leaves fall down and they work as a manure. They work as a fertilizer for the soil. Okay, this is called humus, the topsoil which is formed by the decomposition of leaves or other things. Okay, this is called humus, and humus is a major source of nutrients for the plants. ह्यूमस जो है वो प्लांट्स की रिक्वायरमेंट है, ह्यूमस जो है वो प्लांट्स की ग्रोथ के लिए काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो ऑटोमेटिकली जब लीव्स गिरती हैं तो अपने आप प्लांट्स के लिए वो मैन्योर रेडी कर देते हैं. सो दैट्स वाई ट्रीज आर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द फर्टिलिटी ऑफ द सोइल. फर्स्ट पॉइंट वी हैव डन द सोइल इरोजन, सेकेंड पॉइंट वी हैव डन द फर्टिलिटी ऑफ द सोइल. Third, soil retains water, increasing chemical weathering and the release of minerals from rock. Soils also help in the minerals, okay, in the extraction of minerals, in the chemical weathering. What is weathering? When the rocks break and the soil is formed, okay, this is called weathering. Few nutrients lost by leaching, leading to very nutritious soils. Whenever leaching is done, okay, after the leaching, few nutrients are lost. Few nutrients are lost that are good for the fertility of the soil. And next, the nutrient rich soil promotes rapid vegetation growth, and if the vegetation is grown, then all these steps are automatically being done. And after the deforestation, what are the consequences? Very few trees offering protection for the soil. The soil will not be protected because the trees were not there, the roots were not there to protect the soil, and the soil erosion occurs. Few leaves drop as litter. There will be no litter. Okay, if there is no litter, then there will be no humus, then the fertility of the soil is gone. Rapid loss of nutrients by leaching results in acidic soil. Do you know about the acidic behavior and basic behavior? The plants need a require neutral medium for the growth of plants. Okay, for the growth, the soil have to be the neutral. The soil is to be the neutral for the growth of the plant. Okay, if the soil becomes acidic or basic, the plant got damaged. So that's why the pH level of the soil should be maintained, and if the trees are cut it down, then the pH level of the soil becomes acidic or basic, which is dangerous for the health of other plants. Change in composition and infertile soil results in very little vegetative growth. So this all are the effects of deforestation. Okay, these are the first consequences only done by the cutting down of trees. Now next, social and economic impact of climate change. Now if the trees are cut it down because of the pollution, so many harmful diseases are spreading. Okay, our environment is changing, our climate is changing. So how our climate is changing and what is its social and economic impact? Okay, so now we will study that. Relocation of whole towns. Relocation of whole towns means that the towns which were built earlier, would be destroyed by the different storms, okay, by the different thunderstorms, or by different aspects, or by different reasons like flooding. So relocation of whole towns. Second, shrinking productivity of harvest. I have told you already that when the climate changes, okay, yeah, when the deforestation occurs, the productivity of the soil decreases. Due to that, the food growth will automatically decreases. Prices of basic foodstuffs and consumer goods will rise. If the productivity is low, if the products are low, then the expenses increases, then the cost of that good will increase automatically. Extreme meteorological phenomena will cause widespread poverty. Meteorological, it means the things coming from the space, okay, like meteors, comets. When the climate changes, the meteorological activity increases. Due to that, poverty will increase. Diseases will spread due to high temperature. Due to the high temperature of the earth, many diseases will spread, okay, like coronavirus. We are like going through a very great pandemic which is called coronavirus, okay. So coronavirus, the main reason for the spread of coronavirus is temperature. Okay, do you know that the main reason for the spread of the coronavirus is temperature? We have seen like a decrease in the number of patients in winters, but when the summers are coming, okay, when the summers came again, the pandemic is risen again. So the disease will spread due to higher temperature. This is a major consequence of the climate change. Fresh water will be in short supply in some areas. We are facing a lot of difficulty for the drinking water, okay. The areas like Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat did not getting the proper drinking water. So that is a major problem occurred due to the climate change. More wars to gain access to limited resources. If the resources are limited, the countries will fight each other, so the wars will come. Loss of the capacity to work due to heat. We can't work in so much heat, okay. So the work capacity of the humans will be lost. The cost of adapting coastal areas to rising sea levels. The sea levels will increase, and if the sea levels will increase, then the cities on the banks of that seas will drown, okay. So that's why we have to stop the climate change. We have to stop down the cutting of trees. Next, now we have studied the consequences of deforestation, okay. We have studied the consequences of climate change. Now what are the consequences on the human beings? Like health issues. What health issues can occur to the human beings? Medical and physical health. Changes in fitness and activity level. Our activity level decreases, okay, we become obsessed and we can't work properly. Heat related illness, allergies, increased exposure to waterborne and vector-borne illness. We can't get proper drinking water, we can't get like clean drinking water, so waterborne disease and vector-borne disease will spread through. What are the effects on the mental health? Stress, anxiety, depression, grief, sense of loss. Strains on social relationships, substance abuse, post-traumatic stress disorder. And what are the effects on community health? Increased interpersonal aggression, increased violence and crime, increased social instability, and decreased community cohesion. So we have studied all the consequences which are done by the climate change or the disturbance in the human environment, okay. We were studying our topic, the disturbance, the human environment interaction, and we all know that the human environment interaction is very low at the present time. So these are the consequences, okay, which can occur when the human environment interaction is imbalanced. Now a perfect balance between the natural and human environment is a need of the hour. We all know that this is the need of the hour. We have to take some steps, to take some serious steps to stop these consequences. We should understand that human race cannot survive if we do not live in harmony with nature, and if the balance is nature is not maintained. This is so simple that if we can't maintain the proper balance with the nature, then we will all die, then we can't survive. That's why Earth Day and World Environment Day are some initiatives taken by the world societies like UN and other agencies which are being celebrated to protect our environment, to motivate the children, to motivate the other people, okay, to protect the environment. So on Earth Day, April 22, I am giving you a small assignment. You have to make a model of Earth giving a message to save Earth or to plant trees, okay. I am repeating it again. I am giving you a small assignment. okay, that you have to do from the like waste papers or waste rubbers. You have to make a model of earth giving a message to save earth. Okay, you can do it in a way that you want. So on Earth Day April 22, you have to submit it online. Okay, to me you have to send me the pictures, you have to send me the videos of that, and the best will get a reward from the school administration or from me personally. Okay, so be ready guys. The question answers of this chapter will be sent to you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Keep studying, keep learning. Bye bye.